What up guys, Adrian from YouMotorcycle, and as you can tell, I like BMW GS motorcycles. I think BMW makes a fine bike with the whole GS line. One of my favorite GSs is actually the G650, the little 650 single over there. It's really great. I've made a lot of content on this bike, but one thing that is kind of lacking is lighting at nighttime. Could really use an upgrade on this, and I think I've found the perfect product for it. We're gonna find out. If it works as good as it looks, I think not only will it make this bike be a lot more fun to ride at nighttime when it's dark, but also I think it'll just modernize the looks of the bikes. It doesn't come with any instructions. I don't know if the quality is good or bad. It's made in China from a company I've never heard of before. So we're gonna assemble it. We're gonna see if it really is plug and play, what the quality is like, and then we'll look at before and after stock headlight versus this to ultimately find out if this is a modification that's worth doing. So here's the headlight. Looks like it should fit. Looks like we have a standard H4 plug. And then something else, which is kind of making me nervous because it's wired. I don't know if this is gonna be the stock BMW connector. Again, there are no instructions, so I don't know what to do first, but it really looks to me like there are only maybe two screws that hold this in place. One we access through here, the other one through there. So I'm just gonna try and take those out, and we'll start with that. To get the factory bolts out, you'll need a T30 Torx. So you can either use a Allen key, or you can just use like a little socket bit. So I'm just gonna carefully slide this out. And now we got just these two plugs here. So this one just kind of popped out by accident. There we go. So now we have, I think, our first problem, to be honest with you, because this looks like just a bulb and it's supposed to be plug and play. All right, well in the meantime, let's plug this in. All right, well, I guess we got two options, which is either we cut these wires, splice them into these wires, which I never like to do. I bought this because I thought it was going to be plug and play, or we send it back. So I'm going to talk to the seller and see what they say. Alrighty, so there have been quite a few developments, so let's talk about that. So this headlight was not connecting so good because this connector was not plug and play, even though it's advertised to be. So I reached out to the seller and I said, "Seller, this is not plug and play. You have lied to me. What the heck?" And they gave me a partial refund of $45. I have a solution to still make this plug and play. And you guys might be thinking, well, who cares? Like, just cut the two wires, take the two ends, and just, you know, splice it all together, right? And that's totally an option. I could do that. I may actually be registering this bike in a different country, in which case I might have to go through a whole import process, in which case everything might have to look original. So if I do the import, which will be in Europe, I want to easily be able to switch the headlight back real quick and then switch it off again real quick when the import is done. So I've found a solution, which is this right here. Essentially, this is the same base as the bulb, which comes out of the bike. And because it's the same base, means it'll plug right into the part of the factory harness, which is fantastic. I can't remember, I'll put on the screen what this is. I'll put a link to it on Amazon where you can find it. And then basically you can just wire these together and you will have, yeah, a plug and play harness for this goofy light. Let me also show you a few other things I discovered, which I was like, oh, okay, was not expecting that. You guys let me know in the comments if you hate it as much as I do, or if I'm just being a big baby. It's a lot more blue than I thought it would be. That ball in the circle there. Not crazy about it. But yeah, should be able to make this work now. Alright, so these are 16 gauge it looks like. So I just stripped a little bit off of there with some strippers. And wire strippers I'll link to in the description, blah blah blah. Now is a good time to solder if you're good at soldering. Personally, I am shit at soldering. I have no patience for it. The other thing you could do if you wanted to is if you grab a pack of these little connectors, if you don't want to solder, I think they're also heat shrink built in, you can use these little connectors. Make sure you get the right gauge. So this says 16 to 14, so that's perfect. You put each end in and then you kind of crimp it in the middle, and then you can heat shrink over top. That's actually pretty decent. So if you can't solder or you're shit at it like I am, these are a good option too. Again, I'll link to everything. Put that in there. Put this in there, push them together. There's a little spot labeled 16 by 14 so you can't get it wrong. Put it in there. It's even color coded, this set. The set is great. It's totally idiot proof, which is why I can use it all the time. Now when we tug on it, nothing. And I do believe if we heat these up, they will wrap around nicely. Let's try. Start on low. So good. Hopefully you guys can see how nice and tight that is. Awesome. You could even, if you wanted to, have cut a little bit, just so there's not such slack. And that'll take me to the next problem that I found with this. So the original headpiece has an extra bracket here, and that's to stop the nut from just falling out. This doesn't have that. It's really stupid. So you put the nut in there and it can just fall out. To make things worse, the nut that they do give you, it doesn't actually fit down the hole. It just gets stuck and it can't be pushed further down. So we're gonna have to put this nut on the vise and shave it down a little bit. I'm not even kidding you. It's really bad how stupidly designed this is. All right, this is not a class on how to do stuff safety. We're gonna wing it. All right, that fits. All right, I guess you guys are gonna want to see this, although I don't know how much there's gonna be to see, but we're gonna take our new little piece here, and there we go. Well, that's something, hey? Yeah, I don't like that blue light. That blue light to me is trouble, but all right. And then we got headlight. Okay, and that's basically gonna be low beam and high beam. Low beam, high beam. One, okay. Line it in the hole. I do think it does look cooler. All right, so yeah, it's installed, but truthfully, I'm not really impressed. I know every YouTuber is supposed to tell you how great shit is so that you'll buy stuff through their affiliate links. I don't give a shit if you buy this or not. It looks cool, but in terms of how it was actually really designed, it's a piece of crap. You gotta make it plug and play, even though they advertise it as plug and play, but it's not. You have this issue of this blue light here, that technically in North America, blue lights are reserved for snow clearance vehicles. So theoretically that could get in trouble with the cops. We'll take it out for a test ride. There's a huge gap underneath here, which means all kinds of shit's gonna blow right in, water's gonna blow right in. This should be sealed tightly. On the standard unit, it's sealed a lot more tightly, so I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of something to fit in this little crack here, because I can fit a whole pinky finger through there. Yeah, I'm not impressed. It seems like no matter how tight you do, it was really hard to get it to stop wobbling forward to back. The factory unit is just so much better made compared to this. So if you're all about aesthetic and you like this look, yeah, cool, by all means, it does look cool, sure. If you're all about, I gotta install this myself, and why is it so stupid? I don't know why it's so stupid, it just is. So yeah, hate it or love it, whatever. I don't know how long it's gonna last. If it lasts as good as it looks, it'll last a long time. If it lasts as smart as it was for the installer, I'll be taking this off in a week because it'll be broken. So yeah, we'll see. Let's go take it for a test ride and see how it holds up. I'll show you guys how weak the stock headlight is and see if the new headlight's any better. Let's try it out. You can tell my light's not doing much. I'll switch over to the high beam. A little better. Low beam. High beam. Low beam. And we're gonna make a turn here. And this is kind of what I deal with. It's probably not as bad as it looks on the camera, but High beam's on now, a little better. Let's go back to low beam. Just not much going on there, man. I don't know how it looks for you guys. For me, it does look noticeably better. The one thing I'm kind of interested in is the fact that I can't tell the difference between my high beam and my low beam. So this is low beam, high beam. I think maybe high beam is just aimed slightly higher. It's not necessarily more full. I think on the last ride I went around this way. Did I? I think so. Yeah, this is definitely more full spectrum, or I don't know, full spectrum, more full, wider cast, I think, in my opinion. High beam. To me, this high beam is kind of fucking useless. Low beam. High beam. Yeah, alright. So should you buy this headlight? Well, I'll be honest with you. Right now, my bike is completely dead. It's a couple weeks later, so I haven't been using it. I don't know if it died because of this. Hit subscribe. Stay tuned for my next video to see if my bike is completely dead right now. Check this out. Because of this light or because of something else. Assuming that it's not because of this light, though, let's just go on and assume that. You can subscribe and see the next week's video to find out. If you want the aesthetic upgrade, sure. If you want a bit of a lighting upgrade, absolutely. But you can get a really good lighting upgrade just by putting an LED bulb in place of the standard bulb that comes with this thing. You don't need to spend so much money. It is kind of disappointing in terms of the quality, but it does look super cool. So it really depends on if you value the aesthetics more or if you value just the functional aspect. We'll see. Let me see how much my attitude changes after I find out if my bike has broken down because of this headlight or because of something else. Hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments section. And as always, ride safe, but have fun. Peace.